Hello! Welcome back to Paccuccino! And today I got one huge AmiAmi box. We will unbox it. We will take a look at the figure that I got and make a little review. He was one of my most anticipated pre-orders. He's finally arrived. He got pushed back into January, then pulled forward to December again. And basically I met at AmiAmi because I asked them if they could reduce his size because I got a shipping quote of 11,000 yen shipping, EMS, and I couldn't choose surface. And so I asked them if they could reduce it, and they said no, we can't. And I'm mad because when you take a look at my unboxing of him from the AmiAmi box, you will notice, first off, I got the card for January. I think it's a January card because they shipped him out so late. Then I got a sweet little something from Sumiko Gurashi, which is basically from the Petite collection, and I didn't know what I was supposed to expect from there. But it's basically just this tiny little super cute figure of the Neko with some kind of velvet on top of it. And it's super small, it's super cute. And that was just an extra in this box that I've thrown into. Anyway, my whole crate, moving on the extra stuff aside, is that you can see it came in a red box. So I was like, oh, maybe they changed the box for him. No, they did not. AmiAmi just shipped me his box in a box, in a box, in a box. Because he obviously came also in a blister. And I'm furious because I asked them if they could reduce his size in a smaller box, and they obviously could have if they just removed him from his red box. But then again, I can't say anything because I totally missed his payment time. I was writing emails with the stuff and they were not fast enough. I was not fast enough because it was over Christmas, and so I missed the deadline, and basically they should have banned me. Or that's how it goes. They usually ban you immediately after not paying for an invoice, but they were lenient enough, so I'm not banned. Lucky. But yeah, that was scary, and I don't even know if I can even ever cancel another figure from them, or if I will be banned afterwards because I missed the payment deadline. Yikes. It happens. So just that you know, you're never exempt from paying your item even though you're in chat with them. So keep that in mind, I would say. Anyway, let's take a look at the unboxing of this beautiful boy. He comes in the typical black box of Onmyoji hard cardboard. When you open it, you're presented with this flimsy layer of whatever I think his name stands on top of it, and underneath is this amazing artwork of him, which the figure is based off, and oh my god, alone for this it was worth it. Everything was worth it. And then you have the figure in its actual blister package, which basically is its own box again as well. So I got a box, in a box, in a box, in a box. So we got 4 boxes until you get to the figure. So before we go into the figure itself, let me show you some of the extras that I got with him. Because there's this box that I got which was announced by pre-ordering him, which looks fantastic. It has his name on it. Otakemaru. It has a beautiful design, and when you open it you got this super cute brooch or pin, this metal pin of his weapon, and his necklace, and obviously some waves because he is a sea monster, by the way. And it's huge. It's a really huge one, and I love it. I'm all for this pin. So it's a really amazing pin. That's what you got because you pre-ordered them. But we also got something more because they delayed him a whole year again because they weren't happy with the production that their manufacturer put him out. So I think with him it started to go downwards with the actual quality of these figures. And because it got delayed, we got 2 more everyone who now got him will get 2 Shigishi boards, and both of them have these amazing artworks of Otakemaru on it, and I'm all for it. Absolutely love them, so happy to have them, and this makes it just so worse to have picked them up for me. So these 2 get a 10 out of 10. I love the one where it's obviously, which the figure is based on, stunning, love his grin and everything. But the second one with the wave, even better. I love the colors, the flying fish, his sword, his stand, the mountain in the back, which is probably Mount Suzuka, and his Oni mask. Amazing, amazing. I especially love the second one even more than the first one. Next, you also got another big black box with him on top of it, and it's basically a back screen, which is a really nice material. I can't even say what it is. It's heavy, it's metal maybe, or we have metal hinges in it. You have on one side the image of Otakemaru, on the other side you have these Japanese clouds and his sign in the background, and it's heavy, it's well made. I love the design of it. If anything, it's maybe just a tiny bit too small, because when you put it behind the figure he easily overshadows it because he's so much bigger. So maybe you have to put the background on a smaller figure, or maybe even put it higher up. So I don't know, it's maybe a tiny bit too small, and I wish they would have done it a little bit bigger, but it is what it is and I don't mind so much. And the last freebie they gave you was a gachapon, was a mystery gachapon from Onmyoji, and I opened it just to not be disappointed if I knew which I could have got, and I got a little onigiri keychain, a little figure of onigiri. He is freaking adorable. I love the colors. His face is adorable. And then I have taken a look at the little pamphlet that they gave with it. I'm still disappointed that I didn't get Kidomaru. I saw that you could have gotten a Kidomaru, and now I'm kind of sad that I didn't get Kidomaru. Someone wanna trade? Anyway, I would have been happy to get the Kidomaru because Kidomaru is one of my favorites from this series as well, and I would have loved to get a figure from him, but for now we don't even know if we ever get any more Onmyoji figures because of the manufacture problem that they have. So it is what it is. So now let's go on to the figure of resistance, the masterpiece of this video and which this review is all about. And we're talking about Otakemaru. My husbando, the one that I was waiting for forever. Here he is. And what should I say? I would love to say I love him to death. He's amazing and everything. But I have some critics about him. And I thought, why not do it like the last time I did a review of a figure. We will start with the good stuff of him, and then we will go to the negative parts, because yeah, he had some negatives that I need to discuss with you. So first off, positive. I love his base. This base is freaking awesome. Be careful when you handle the base because it's really sharp. We have his 2 Oni masks, we have the electricity on front of it. Everything was well protected, nothing came broken for me. And his horns were protected with some layer of foam or something like this. This is amazing, and you need to be careful when you remove this that you don't hurt yourself because they're really sharp. And be careful not to break anything. Everything is seemingly fragile, but Anyway, his mask, the gold is amazing, the paint job is on spot. We have the inside with some golden waves and structure in it, and it looks so weathered, and I'm super amazed with the attention to detail on this masks. The inside is beautiful, the outside is super beautiful, the golden teeth, the golden horns, and they really knocked it out of the park with this base. The Oni masks are freakingly the best of the whole figure, which is kind of sad because you can't really see them if you don't put them high enough to look at it. And also the clear effect for the thunder effect is also really amazing. One is really near to one of the masks, so be careful that you don't have some paint transfer. They even put protection there. But anyway, it's amazing. I really love the base. Another thing that I really love is the overall paint job of the gold in his whole outfit. We have his armor set, which they have done really well. The tassels with all the golden elements, the golden tassels and the brown tassels with some golden streaks in it. We have his beautiful brown bow around his midriff, which I don't know how it's called, but it also has these golden streaks on it, which look good. Also the brown stripes on it look really nice. And his sword is sharp, be careful, was easy to put in his hand and on his clothes. They really nailed the sword with the thunder elements on the side. I think the sword even has its own name, but I can't remember what it was. But there's a lot of attention and details on it, like all the small cords around the handle of the sword and at the base of the sword look really filigree and amazing, and there's a lot of detail in it. I also adore the paint job that I've given on his shirt, on his ripped shirt. That looks really good. There's some different layering and different colors that I've chosen to put on it. Another thing that I really like is his thunder element in the back of him and the back of his shirt, which also look really nice, really filigree. All these strikes are sharp ends, so be careful here as well. And this is really top notch. So the overall sculpt of this figure is easily a 10 out of 10, and I really like it. Also the composition of the colors is really nice. That would sadly be everything about this figure that I absolutely love, and which I would point out as positives about him. Sadly, he has some negatives. The first one would be putting him on the base was impossible for me. I had to use a hairdryer for the first time because otherwise I wouldn't have gotten him on the base. The way they have put his feet is ridiculous. They are way too near each other, but it's kind of impossible to stretch them out without having issues of thinking you will break them. So use a hairdryer. Please use a hairdryer and he will fit on it really snugly, pretty good. So with this it was no problem. The same goes for his electric part in the back. It won't fit pretty well, so I had to use a hairdryer as well, but after it I could push it in quite nicely. The only thing that really fit well was his sword. Next thing that I really don't like would be his necklace. This one looks kind of cheap, looks like plastic, and doesn't even have so much detail as the other little cords that are on his body, and somehow the paint job is quite sloppy on it in my opinion. So I don't really like the necklace that he's wearing. The next issue that I have with him, and I asked around if others also had this feeling, his head is, in my opinion, kind of small for the scale of his body. So maybe just a little bit bigger and he would have looked nicer, but so it seems like his head is kind of small, and I don't know if it's my perceptive, because I got 1/4 and 1/6 and non-scale figures, but he's so small. Like, he's a 1/8 and I totally forgot how small 1/8s are. And with his small head, it's not making it any better. And I was really disappointed by his size, I have to say. I wish they would have given him more size of his head maybe. Or overall, just a little bit bigger, but he seemingly is really small. This was one of my biggest disappointments with him. The other one would be this boy has no shading, no skin shading. A lot of people already mentioned this when they got him. He kinda looks like a zombie. So they really missed to shadow his face especially. I think the body is kinda okayish because of how the light shines. You get these shadows from his muscles and his attention to detail by sculpting him, but his face is so pale, and this also makes it kind of disappointing. But when I've taken a look at my Miketsu, I have to say you don't notice it on her that much because the only skin that you get on her is her face. But the difference is he has a lot of black in his outfit. So the main color of his whole outfit is black. And he probably has the same skin color as Miketsu. But the difference is Miketsu has red, has white, and it don't protrude so much that she doesn't have any shadings in her face. But with him, it's so obvious because of the dark colors that he will look even paler in comparison to any other figures, and that they haven't given him any shading doesn't help in that matter. So that was really, really disappointing. I was thinking about doing my own shading, but I have no idea how I would do this. And it's kind of sad that they missed the mark on the shading department for his skin color. But then again, the Onmyoji figures never had really a lot of shading. It's mostly we have gradients in it which don't let it look so bad, like his skirt, which is a flimsy plastic that I don't like, so be careful with his skirt. It's only really pointy and it's a really plasticky plastic, don't know how to call it. It has a nice gradient from a lighter gray color to a really dark black color, and overall the black on his whole outfit always has some lighter gray spots in it, which makes it not appear too dark but gives it a really nice look to it, and the golden departments light it up a little bit as well. But his hair is just a dark black, and this makes him look really, really pale in comparison. I also don't like the way they have done his hair. On one side you can really see the seam lines, on the other it's not that noticeable. I actually love the way they have done it, but you can see the seam lines. I wish they would have hidden it a bit better on the back of his head. But otherwise, his hair is fine. It's pointy, it's spiky. Overall, the sculpt is really 10 out of 10, but the paint job is really lacking and would only be maybe a 5 out of 10. And I also have to say they have chosen quite dark colors for the lines on his mouth, and his eyes are just a tiny bit too light in comparison to the prototype, in my opinion, which also doesn't help quite as much. But otherwise, his face is just so small. I really wish they would have given him a bigger face, and especially in comparison to his body sculpt. Maybe 20% bigger, and I would have been way happier with it than I am right now. So while he's not quite a disappointment, he's not quite what I have hoped for, and maybe I had too high expectation because he's my husband, though, and I wanted him to be perfect. I wanted him to be like my Suzuka, a 10 out of 10, but he's basically just the 8 out of 10, if not even only a 7 out of 10. But he gets the husbando point, so he's 8 out of 10. Because otherwise his sculpt, like I said, is magnificent. I would highly recommend something like this over any other figure. yeah, there are some nitpickings that I had to give or had to say about him, but otherwise I'm still happy that I finally got him. All his extras make it so much worse and making me a little bit more on the forgiving side with how he turned out. And I know they had problem with the manufacturer, and he was basically the start of it, and the end is Taishakuten, which I will say in another video, but it's also really sad. Yeah, he's not my last Onmyoji figure. I still have one left that needs to be shipped to me, but after this I will have no more Onmyoji figures on pre-order, and I can't pre-order them until they have solved their manufacture problems. So NetEase Games, if you're watching, which I doubt you will, but please sort it out. I want to buy more of your figures. I love the way you sculpted, and with time I think you would do more shading or more subtle shading, because they are so amazing. I love this line, and I'm so sad that with him it's basically the end of the line. At least for NetEase Games. I do hope that other manufacturer will put out more Onmyoji figures. Please, 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 please. I would like to pick them up. I still want a Kiyomaru, and there are still like a Taishakuten. I also want Taishakuten and some other characters which are amazingly in their outfit, and I would love to own them as figures. I don't want to end this line here, but for now that's probably what's gonna happen. But we will see. I don't want to be too negative about this, so we will end it here because I go on and blub even more. I thank you for watching. I hope you liked this review. Tell me what you think about it. Tell me which manufacturer or which figure you got, which you were so excited about and just didn't manage to get this last person to make it 100% perfect, which you are kind of disappointed with. I would really like to know. I would love to talk with you. And maybe if you're watching this and are not subscribed to me, consider giving me a subscribe or maybe a like. I would really appreciate it. And thank you for watching again. I hope you have a great day, night, evening, whatever, whenever you're watching this. And I will catch you in the next one. Until then, bye bye.